She has good travel papers, signed by the German general commanding rail transport in northern Italy. The Gestapo can sniff out phony papers, no matter how good. Oh, they're the real thing, old boy, Philby said, clenching his pipe between his teeth. This general is quite the churchgoer, especially since he arranged for the transport of several thousand Italian Jews. To where? I knew the Nazis were rounding up Jews everywhere and shooting a lot of them, but I didn't know where they kept transporting them to, or why. It didn't make sense when they needed railroads for troops and supplies. But then nothing in this war made much sense. To those camps in the east we keep hearing about. This old general began to feel guilty, more so after we landed in Italy. He let it be known he'd be glad to do a small favor for the Vatican now and then. Isn't it dangerous to give him Diana's name, or whatever name she's using? Yes, it would be, Philby said absently, as he knocked the ash from his pipe and jammed it into his coat pocket. That's why she's coming out with a group of 20 nuns. Didn't want to tell you the details before now, you understand. Sure, security. A lot of that going around. The cover story is that they're being sent to a convent outside of Zurich to relieve crowding in the Holy See. Solid on all counts. Look, there, he said, pointing to the train. A rush of black leather exited, accompanied by shouted orders. The troops surrounding the train trotted to their vehicles. The Italian border guards stood back, melting into the shadows, mere spectators on their own soil. Two burly Gestapo men stepped down from a train car, holding a civilian by his elbows, guiding him to the waiting sedan. The civilian looked around, his head swiveling wildly as he sought some way out. He dug in his heels, but the two goons carried him easily. Then he dropped, as if he'd fainted. One of the Germans pulled back his leg to give him a kick, and all of a sudden the prisoner was up, pushing his tormentor and twisting free. He ran along the train, his arms pumping, and leapt from the platform, hitting the ground hard, rolling and coming up at a run, limping as one leg threatened to give out. Pistol shots cracked, and gray dust kicked up at his feet. Then an MP-40 machine gun sounded, the harsh burst slamming into his back. He took another 2 steps, perhaps not realizing that death had burrowed into muscle and bone. His momentum propelled him forward, almost in a cartwheel, until his body fell limply across the track. The sigh of steam flowed from the locomotive again, a mournful sound that seemed to apologize for the sudden death of a passenger, so close to his final destination. The Germans pushed the Italian border guards forward, ordering them to retrieve the body. As they grabbed the fellow by his feet and pulled, they left a streak of crimson that pointed, like an arrow, to the Swiss side. "Lucky fellow," Philby said. "That was at least quick. One of yours?" "No, some poor bastard on the run. Deserter, maybe. Probably betrayed by some other chap looking to save his own skin. Here we go," he said as the gate was raised, and the train finally lurched forward, its giant steel wheels rolling over the bloodstains as it left Nazi territory. The train arrived at the platform, and lights switched on above us as the sun gave up and set below the looming mountains. To the south, a blanket of darkness settled over occupied Italy, where the blackout was complete, not a glimmer allowed to guide Allied bombers. The Swiss side seemed gaudy in comparison, bright lights shining on gray pavement and orange tile roofs. Maybe I'd gotten used to the blackout in London, but the glare of streetlights and lamps was blinding. I shaded my eyes and strained to see into the compartments as they rolled by, the train moving slowly, until its caboose was safely on neutral ground. The compartment doors opened, and the passengers spilled out with a mix of nervous chatter and ashen faces. Some looked like businessmen, others refugees. Wartime travel to a neutral country provided